Last time on Fissure's Initiative Short Stories. Feeling good about herself, Ume returned to the house. Melvin had already gone to work hiring more decorators and enchanters to spice their home up. As she walked by the living room, she spotted something that made her stomach drop. Sitting in the center of the room, eyes glowing red with the fury of 1,000 customers who want to see the manager, was a statue of Zalumoga.
Hi?
Let's talk, shall we?
Ume laughed and yelled.
Nope.
As she ran down the hall, she found Melvin in the kitchen polishing his new sword.
Ume, check this out! I'm even more of a badass! Hard to believe, right?
He drew his samurai sword and swung both of his blades around.
The statue's back!
Looking confused, he sheathed his swords.
I pushed the statue into hell and now it's back!
Mulberries!
He marched into the living room. The statue hissed as he answered.
I can grant you immense power.
We ain't interested.
Now hang on, Ume. Let's hear her out.
I have a pendant for you. It will make you strong.
The sound of stone grinding against stone filled the air as the statue's hand opened, revealing a gold necklace with the ruby set into a silver eye.
Take it. I know you need it.
Ume quickly flew ahead and, using a spatula from the kitchen, scooped the necklace into her backpack.
Yeah, thanks. We're not gonna touch it.
Fools! You need my power!
Ume ushered Melvin out of the room.
I say we find Teodana and then we call Kazuko and then we can handle this!
She held up her backpack and shook it furiously.
Without losing our souls or something.
You have a point. Very well, let us make haste.
Our heroes journeyed to Bartholomew, to the Napping Dragon. They quickly located the beer mug dangling above the bar. Melvin cleared his throat as Ume distracted the barkeeper.
Excuse me, are you Teodana?
Why, yes I am. And who you might be?
I am Melvin, sometimes known as Melvin the Handsome. Melvin the Incredibly Handsome. Melvin the Oh my God, how is he that handsome?
What can I do for you, Melvin? Have you ever tried the muffins? This place has always had the best muffins. I think it's something in the water.
Not quite yet, but I will remember to do so. I have come to ask if you would be kind enough to relieve Kazuko of her duties now and then.
I'm listening.
You see, she, along with Imaterus and Senyuten, have detained the other gods. But she seems lonely. I was hoping we could bring you in so as to rotate shifts with the other gods. That way, everyone gets a break now and then.
And why she might want a break?
She misses her old job as a school teacher.
I see. I always did think it was kind of cool she got to live as a mortal for a while. It sure gave us perspective of how y'all live. You know what? I'll do it. For her.
Excellent. Do I just take your mug, or...?
Yes, that might be helpful. Just summon your god friends and they'll know how to fix me up.
Melvin took the mug off the hook on the wall and gave a discreet nod to Ume as he walked out of the bar. She soon joined him outside.
Okay, Teodana's on board. We just need a way to contact Kazuko now.
How about praying? There ought to be a shrine nearby, or something.
Not finding any shrines in Bartholomew, our heroes walked to Cristofori. There, in the walled town, they found various shrines. They kneeled in front of Kazuko's statue, an emerald skeleton. Nearby, some children were defacing a shrine to Vanya.
Yo, Kazuko. Teodana says she'll do it.
After a few seconds, a thick fog set in. They heard her voice call out behind them.
Hey, stop vandalizing stuff and go do your homework.
She clapped and shouted at the youngsters as they scampered away. Straightening out her shawl, she turned to the group.
It's good to see you, Teodana.
Likewise, it's my current understanding that you might be in the need of a break.
Kazuko rubbed her hands and looked away, seemingly humiliated.
I guess I could.
Well, that settles it then. Consider me as part of the team. Do y'all think Senaton might be able to pick me back together?
Kazuko nodded and walked over to a shrine to Senyuten. She softly kicked his shrine.
Hey, get down here.
Seconds later, with a brilliant flash of blue light, a man with a long wizard robe poofed into existence.
Whoa, looks like we got new adventures stirring up trouble, huh?
He grabbed one of Ume's wings and eyed them. She snatched it back and glared at him.
Whoa! Hey, sorry, it's not often I get to see a pixie. You know, being the god of magic, all things magical interest me.
Melvin withdrew Zalamoga's golden necklace from Ume's backpack.
Can you tell us anything about this?
Senyuten physically recoiled in fear and screamed in terror.
Oh god! Holy crap, get that thing away from me! She's crazy as hell!
Is there anything I can do with it?
I don't know. Let's see. How about maybe throwing it away?
You would wear it and gain power, but then your soul would belong to her, and then she'll use you like a puppet.
Melvin frowned in disappointment.
Oh.
But how do we get rid of it?
I can destroy it.
Ume took the necklace from Melvin and handed it to Kazuko. The goddess of death took the necklace in her hand and crushed it. Melvin's heart sank.
Anyway, what's going on? We zapping somebody?
Teodana wants to be made whole.
Senyuten paused.
And you're cool with that?
She nodded.
We're all going to start taking breaks every now and then. She will help keep watch over the others.
The god of magic cracked his knuckles.
One whole goddess coming right up.
He began to channel magic in his hands. Suddenly, what seemed like 100 white orbs flew from all directions into the mug. With the bright flash, a halfling stepped out of the light. She shook Melvin and Ume's hands.
Thank you kindly.
Teodana, the goddess of revelry, peace, debate, and friendly gatherings, nodded to Kazuko. They began to walk into the fog when Melvin called out to them.
Wait!
The elf ran to Kazuko.
Can you give me a necklace similar to Zalamoga's?
The goddess looked uneasy.
Are you sure?
Melvin eagerly nodded. With a heavy sigh, the goddess reached out to Melvin's face. Her hand seemed to pass harmlessly through his flesh. She gently pulled out one of his wisdom teeth. Melvin stood there, astonished. He felt no pain whatsoever. Kazuko whispered quietly to the tooth. Black inscriptions burned into the sides and crown of the tooth in a language Melvin had never seen. She then, just as gently as before, placed it back into his mouth.
It is done.
Thank you so much.
Kazuko and Melvin exchanged bows, and the goddesses disappeared into the fog. Senyuten leaned down to Ume and whispered.
Hey, listen. Please don't tell Zalamoga I said she's crazy. She'll hurt me. Here, have a rocket power rainbow pony.
A small pony poofed into existence and hovered in the air beside the pixie. Ume, now with hearts in her eyes, gasped her greatest gasp and hugged the pony while trying to not get burnt by its thrusters. It neighed happily in response.
And for you, elf?
The god of magic produced a rolled up piece of paper from his sleeve.
A treasure map. In exchange for your silence, of course.
Melvin nodded as he took the map.
Yes. Not a peep to Zalamoga should we see her again.
The god waved his hands in a magical fashion and, with a snap, Senyuten was gone.
How about we go back home and decorate the house some more?
Hell yeah!
Our heroes journeyed back to Yankardu and bought more stuff, including a few sunflowers. As Ume watered them, Melvin thought of Green Thumb Jack.
Ume, how do you think Green Thumb Jack is doing?
I don't know. He probably has everything under control.
Shall we visit him?
Yeah, let's go.
They flew back to Green Thumb Jack's pool party and jumped in. The gnomish city looked to be doing well. There was no sign of Like Mendez. They found the sentient sunflower in the park.
Green Thumb Jack, how goes your city?
It goes well, thank you.
The giant sunflower sniffed the air.
You have the stench of the gods upon you.
What do you mean?
Did you give your soul away?
I
can remove their grip on you if you like.
No, I think it will be fine.
Green Thumb Jack, are you saying a god owns his soul?
Yes, the stink is unmistakable. What did you do, elf?
I asked Kazuko for an amulet of power. She did something to my tooth.
Caution must be exercised when dealing with the gods, especially concerning power. While Kazuko is definitely among the more honest types, it is a dangerous thing to trade your soul away for.
Melvin shrugged.
I'm sure it will be fine.
How about we go ask her?
Brilliant idea.
Our heroes charged out of the cave and flew to the nearest shrine. Melvin prayed and the fog set in. Kazuko soon answered.
Is something wrong?
Excuse my inquiry, but are you in possession of my soul?
The goddess nodded. Melvin fell silent as he thought.
I can give it back.
No, you have my trust.
They bowed to each other, and the duo flew back home. Ume decided to use her druidic magic to grant sentience to the sunflowers. As she casted her spell, Melvin inspected the treasure map. It led back to Kolgaka, to the basement of a mansion. Hours later, Ume finished her spell and the sunflowers spoke to her.
Hey, sup, fool?
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Hector and he's Liam.
The sunflower said, pointing to one of the other sunflowers. He pointed to the other one beside it.
And he's Nikolai.
What is this place? It's very nice. Could get used to.
How do you have that accent?
What motherfucking sunflowers? How are we supposed to get around? You gotta get us some wheels or something.
Some form of locomotion would be appreciated.
Ume sprang to her feet.
Wheels coming right up.
She darted to the local toy store and bought a few tiny wagons. She flew back and set the potted sunflowers in the wagons.
Ah, excellent. Now we're rolling.
It's good to be moving again. I say again, I have not moved before.
And that's pretty tight, fool. Perfect. Now let's consolidate power and demand rights.
Yes, wise investments.
Tax loopholes.
Asset acquisition.
Elimination of liabilities.
And engagement in entrepreneurship.
We shall become masters of the free market economy.
You guys have fun with that.
Ume found Melvin looking over a map in the study.
What you doing?
Look at this map, Ume. It appears there was some sort of treasure in Kolgaka. We must investigate.
Let's do it.
Our heroes immediately boarded the DFWS Valkyrie and flew back to Kolgaka. They stopped over at Sirsha and Tepache's cumbias and drinks to make sure everything was running smoothly. Dwarves running to and fro, cooked and wiped down tables as Sirsha served food.
Oh, how are you doing?
Melvin and Ume bowed.
We're doing great, thank you. Do you know anything about that mansion on top of the hill?
Oh yeah, that mansion is owned by Mayor Dolampir. No idea how such a nasty fellow got elected. Some say he bribed the tellers, others say he cast spells which control people's minds.
The dark elf shrugged.
I'm betting bribery. He's a real jerk. He underpays his employees and keeps raising taxes on the rest of us.
Melvin and Ume exchanged that. We're gonna rob this guy. Look, and they bowed to Sirsha.
Sirsha, thank you for your help. We have, the business to conduct.
Yeah, it's important business involving theft.
Our heroes walked right up to the front door of the mansion and knocked. A bald, rotund man with a large mustache answered the door. He wore a purple robe that barely covered him.
Yes? Hello, sir. We found what appears to be some sort of treasure map, and it seems to lead here.
Melvin handed the map over to the man. He inspected the paper.
This look like plans to rob my house.
Melvin chuckled nervously.
Sir, good news! You've been pranked!
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, this is one of those prank shows where the camera's hidden everywhere.
The man ran inside.
My wig! I require my wig!
Using this opportunity as a distraction, the duo scurried away and found a decent hiding place to watch the mansion. The large man came back outside and preened as he looked around for the cameras. They noticed a wagon and an orc unloading goods at a back door. 2 guards stood beside it, looking bored.
Maybe we can sneak in. Can you make us invisible?
I do not know! I've never tried it.
We'll try it.
Melvin cast a spell on himself and strolled up to the guards and began to twerk. One of the guards, perplexed, turned to the other.
Hey, did you hear clapping?
Clapping? You know what? I do hear something. I don't know if it's clapping or if it's birds.
Do you think there's somebody out there that's like maybe throwing a party?
And they did invite us?
You know what? Now we gotta go fucking talk to him.
No, we can't leave.
Why not?
Well, we're guards.
But what are we guarding?
The door?
What door?
My God.
You see? You see what I told you? Sometimes you just start thinking about things and things get a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
I'm starting to question reality as itself, you know?
Everything is just collapsing.
Except for this party.
Yeah, we gotta go see the party.
We can't leave.
But we gotta leave. We gotta see the party.
But, hang on, if nothing's real, is the party real?
Now my mind is blown.
Melvin returned to Ume.
Ume, the spell works! We're completely invisible!
Shh, let's do this.
He cast a spell on her, and the duo snuck past the guards. As they made their way through the hallways, they became distracted by the palatial decorations and bumped into a young orc carrying a bunch of dishes. Startled, Melvin lost his concentration and the spells wore off. The three of them stood there, awkwardly staring at each other for a moment.
Hello? What's your name?
The orc eyed them with suspicion.
Why? Who are you guys?
We're from the labor department.
The young orc's eyes brightened up.
Really? Are you guys gonna get this guy to start paying us a decent wage?
You are correct, sir.
The orc set the stack down and stuck out his hand.
The name's Sotol. What do you guys need?
Access to the basement.
Sotol raised an eyebrow.
Really? The basement.
You see, Sotol, the basement is where the foundation is. And in this society, a foundation is how we grow a movement. And maybe one day that foundation will be the roots of this great tree of movement. And that tree will yield a fruit of prosperity. And that fruit will taste like cookies.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Sotol stroked his chin.
Follow me.
He led them down a narrow hallway. At the end was a metal door. The young orc unlocked the door and stepped aside. The duo entered and saw a strange suit of gold armor. Melvin and Ume both turned to Sotol.
We're gonna have to inspect in here.
Oh, okay. I'll be upstairs if you guys need anything.
The skinny orc walked back down the hall.
How are we to get this thing out of here?
Ume pointed to some large double doors on the adjacent wall.
You go get the airship, park it outside, use the earrings to give me an all clear, and I'll get the armor and kick down the door.
Melvin nodded and ran back down the hallway. Ume got into the armor and suddenly felt stronger. Weapons built into the arms of the armor revealed themselves, including what looked like some sort of projectile launcher. A few minutes later, she heard Melvin's voice in her ear.
Now, Ume!
She fired the weapon at the door. A long cylindrical projectile launched from the arm and struck the door. A massive explosion rocked the mansion. She ran to the door, each footstep of the strange suit of armor landing with a heavy thud. Outside, guards were scattering in the confusion. She leapt onto the airship as it lifted off and flew into the desert sky. Melvin and Ume high-fived, which sent Melvin flying into some nearby crates.
Oops, sorry. This thing makes you stronger.
She chuckled nervously.
You don't suppose we got Sotol in trouble, do you?
He said, dusting himself off as he climbed out from behind the crates.
I don't know. We should check on him in a few days.
They hid the mysterious armor on the airship in the captain's quarters behind a curtain. After a couple days of rest, they landed a few miles away from Kogaka. Ume instructed Barry to keep the armor safe.
What armor?
Shh.
Oh, okay.
Our heroes journeyed into town on their giant pillbugs and visited the restaurant. The mood was gloomy and there were less patrons than usual. Melvin greeted Saoirse with a bow.
What ails the town?
Someone broke into Dolenpier's mansion, and now he's tripled the tax rates. People can barely afford to feed themselves, much less eat here.
She gestured around the lonely ship. The dwarves were sitting around the TV watching the local news.
Can anybody do anything about it?
Saoirse shook her head.
The next election's years away, and he'll only get elected again. I'm afraid there's not much we can do.
Melvin and Ume purchased some drinks and sat at a table as a dark elf busied herself with cleaning.
This is our fault. We have to do something.
What if we change Dolampier's will and then get rid of him? And by that I mean murder him.
Let's do it.
But how should we do it?
I vote poison.
But I wanted to try a garrote.
Okay, what if I poison him, and if that doesn't work, you garrote him?
Deal.
They stopped by the general store and bought a syringe, some poison, and some wire. The shopkeeper asked why they needed such suspicious supplies, to which Ume answered,
We're gonna do some extreme gardening.
The shopkeeper shrugged, obviously not paid enough to care what happened next. They waited until nightfall before breaking into the mansion through the back door. They found the rotund man's desk and altered the will, leaving all of his wealth to the townsfolk and the mansion to Sotol. They made their way into his bedroom. There, on the bed, Dolenpier laid fast asleep. His obnoxiously loud snoring resounded throughout the mansion. Ume injected the poison into the man's arm. Melvin's wire gleamed brightly in the moonlight that shone through the luxurious window as he waited to strike. Seconds later, the snoring finally stopped and all was silent. The duo made their way out of the mansion and rode back to the airship, but not before stealing the dead man's TV. As Melvin tranced in the captain's quarters, Ume watched Barry sleep, perhaps in an attempt to recapture some of her lost innocence after murdering the sleeping mayor, or maybe to observe innocence in its bare form as an outsider. With a startle, Barry woke and asked if Ume was all right. She said nothing and went to Melvin. The duo sat in the captain's quarters and watched the news coverage on their new TV of Dolampir's death and the passing of his mansion to the dishwasher Sodal and his wealth to the people of Kolgaka. Will Kazuko's ownership of Melvin's soul come back to haunt him? Is Ume okay? And what shenanigans are Hector, Liam, and Nikolai going to get into? Find out next time on Fissure's Initiative Short Stories.